I'm Susan Nipp.
And I am Charlie Nipp. Susan and I have been in Coeur d'Alene for a long time. I grew up here, she grew up in Spokane, but we were at a birthday party when we were about 5 years old. So we historically go back a long time. But Coeur d'Alene has been a wonderful place for us to be. We returned after college and living elsewhere in about 1980. And interestingly, we purchased the building that this wall of pictures is on. And that was our return to Coeur d'Alene.
Two things that I've been involved in is the Mudgy and Millie project. And it all started because I wanted people to really appreciate and love Coeur d'Alene as I did as a child growing up and visiting here and being here. And so that's where the idea came of having Mudgy and Millie play hide and seek around downtown, so people would have to follow that trail and get to know the city and love it the way I did. So that
Susan, most people are aware of it, has visited every grade school in our county with Mudgy and Millie, and that was in the last year or so. This spring is engaging the students in helping to write the next story for Mudgy and Millie. And the kids, when you go to the classes, are just excited, and just the engagement that she has done is with the kids is fun to watch. But it also begins to keep them thinking about community, thinking about education, thinking about walking. They love to hike, they love to take pictures of Mudgy and Millie. So it really has engaged them with their families. It has engaged them with their teachers.
And isn't that what it's all about, is children and the future? And that's why all of any income that comes from Mudgy goes to the Library Foundation, which again is enhancing lives of children. And that's such an important focus for all of us in our community. Everybody would think that, no? And I think of Charlie being really a visionary, and he sees what this community can become, and he's been involved in so many groups and organizations to help things happen and help have that vision, and he's good at explaining what he thinks and what he sees for the future, and I think that's made a big difference.
We lived through in the early 80s, the mid 80s, the transition from agriculture, timber, and mining to something quite different, and we were all very concerned about that. And then we got into the 90s, which was easy. Everything was going well, people did well. We are probably in a little different transition of time here. This was the deepest economic situation that we've ever faced nationally and locally. But I see people gathering together as we did in the middle 80s to solve the issues. They're hard sometimes, but there's a great willingness on the part of our community to be engaged and to care. I've always felt that sometimes problems in the larger cities are almost overwhelming. I don't think they are here. I think the issues we have here are very solvable when people gather together and they're willing to communicate and listen to each other.
And when we travel, and we've been fabulous places as so many people have, it's always so good to come back to Coeur d'Alene and say, this is home, this is where our hearts are, friends, family, and it's the amazing community is just spectacular.
And there's Mudgy.
Yeah.